Hello there.
Hey,
Thank you for joining us today at,
Natural Lifestyle Show.
and today we're going to chat about,
Yard work. We all got to do it. It's that time of year.
yep. So it's kind of funny because me and Billy both were thinking about yard work.
And we had not even discussed anything to do with the yard.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a great thing for us to talk about today because I think we're both planning what we want to do, right?
Definitely, definitely. I hope you are too.
Yes. So we had talked about in another video about how we're going to start our planting, and we have not done that yet,
Nope, this week.
but we're going to do it this week for sure. We have a gardening area, a fenced in gardening area. So Billy's going to finish getting the leaves out this
Yep.
week. And okay, first of all, we're going to do the planting because the plants have to grow while we prepare the area.
Exactly.
So he's going to get the leaves out. Either he or I will rake the area. And then we get bananas. And so I break down, or he breaks down the banana boxes,
Mm-hmm.
and we put the cardboard down in between the rows because if we don't, like I think last year I didn't need to because we'd been doing it for several years, so there was
Yeah.
no weeds, but the weeds have come back. So this year we have to cardboard the paths. We have poison ivy in our area and stuff, so that really helps keep it
Under control.
under control. And then, I don't consider all the weeds bad, but you don't want them to overrun your garden either. Or,
And
yeah.
and if you really think about it, using the banana box, see, because we get our bananas by the case. So you're actually putting a good use of that banana box instead of putting it out in the waste field.
Exactly.
And it saves you money in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. We've noticed it takes about 2 or 3 years, I think, for the banana boxes to completely break down.
Yep.
I made a path in another area in the front yard, and that path is still going strong over there.
It is.
And I mean, it really works because after about a year or two, if you pull up the box, it'll just be dirt.
Yeah, exactly.
It really does a great job of getting rid of the weeds. Yeah. And it adds enrichment to the soil. But also, I believe earthworms will eat that kind of material
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
definitely.
So they'll help break it down. And probably those little peel bugs, the peel bugs eat just about the same things that the earthworms do, I've noticed, because our worm bin, the peel bugs like the worm bin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a worm bin too. That's kind of like yard talk. We need to take our worm bin outside. It's been wintering inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's great. We've had that for about a year or so, and we're planning to use some of that soil this year because it's got a lot of dirt in there now.
Yes, it does.
So hopefully we can have a huge crop of everything. But Billy wanted to talk about what we've used the leaves for. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, what we've done in the past, I just went and bought a trash can, and I would put the leaves, no sticks, just the leaves in the trash can, and I'm learn from my mistakes. Put on a pair of goggles,
No.
stick the weed eater in there, and crank it up.
And that creates a mulch.
It creates mulch.
A very nice mulch.
Yes.
And also something else we've done with leaves, because we have about a gazillion of them, right?
Man, we got more leaves than I know what to do with.
So one year he built, like, with some fence, he built like it's kind of like a box, but with one side open. It was a 3-side box.
Yeah, you want one side open because you got to turn it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we did though.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
I
Okay.
did several times.
Thank you. I didn't know. Well, we just stuffed the leaves in there, and I even put some cardboard in there. We just stuff. And after about 2 years, it is broken down into a nice soil for the most part. And so we took some grow bags and we use that soil to put in the grow bags, and the plants love it.
Yeah,
They do.
loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
it really worked out so well, and you didn't have to go buy mulch.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool.
They had to buy no soil.
Well, that was after 2 years. It's a soil.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you take the soil, put it down there, and if you want to put a little bit of mulch, just get some leaves that you got around the home.
Yeah. So I mean, there you go. Yeah,
Or
like
pine needles.
your leaves can be your long-term and short-term meet your long-term and short-term gardening goals.
Exactly.
And if you want to enrich the soil, then you have scraps. Put them in your compost bin. Put them in a compost pile. I mean,
not just any scrap. You got to use
fruits and vegetables, and you can use eggshells too.
Yeah.
So that, and I think, I think we probably have some good compost in our tumbler right now.
Oh, yeah,
we
definitely.
haven't emptied that out lately. Also, we have some chickens, so we're planning on taking like what's in their pen and putting it in a pile and letting that sit till next year, and then using that next year. Because you're supposed to let the chicken waste compost for a year, which I know a lot of people don't do that, but that's what you're supposed to do. So that someone do, because a lot of times, like as a family, we'll go out there and eat the stuff right off the plant.
Sure will.
So I want to make sure that the chicken manure is compost to the point where it's not going to have any bacteria in it, But we have still the leaf mulch that's in our containers. We still have that. We have compost. We have stuff out of our worm dirt, out of our worm bin. Also, when we want to feed our plants, and if we need any extra, we'll probably just go buy some bags of soil, right,
yeah,
honey?
Yeah.
But
we won't be spending what we would have.
Exactly, because it costs a lot of money to buy enough soil to fill up your containers.
Exactly,
it really does. Because like around here we have red clay a lot in our ground. So if you want to garden on your ground, you're gonna have to do a lot of building up of the soil. It's really easier to do container gardening. Which in our garden area, honey, we do have a lot of good soil, from the years years of building up.
Yes, we do.
Because our cucumbers grew very nicely in them last year. Yes.
And very yummy.
And blackberries. I have some blackberries, that are growing nicely out there. In our yard, we have
blueberry bush.
Yeah, I was going to tell you how we feed our plants. But first we'll talk about what we have. We have a blueberry bush. Did you see it? It's gotten bigger.
Yeah, it's getting big.
Yeah, we've got to put a net on that.
We got a peach tree.
Peach tree that Billy's hopefully going to start putting a net on today, because it has like at least 100 peaches on it. They're like really little. But if we don't get it now, the squirrels will eat them before they get ripe. They'll eat them up.
Apple tree.
Yeah, apple. We have 2 apple trees. We have a beautyberry bush, an elderberry bush. We have that we didn't grow out here. What kind of nut trees are they, honey?
They're the hickory nuts.
Hickory nuts. We have like 2 or 3 hickory nut trees out here.
And they're big.
Yeah, I feel like I'm forgetting something. We have rose bushes.
Now we did plant a serviceberry.
Oh, that came back this year.
Oh,
it did.
Nice.
Praise the Lord. That is going to have so many berries on them that taste like blueberries.
Yes, they're very good. Me and little guy love them.
Yes. I mean, so we have like
and a fig tree.
A fig tree, yes. And we're planning on getting that kind of citrus that grows in our area. I want to say it's a kumquat or something, but there's a kind of citrus that will grow in our area that is small, and the outside is edible as well. Which usually with citrus you have to peel it. But not with this one. So
nice.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get that this year, honey, to add to our garden.
Definitely.
Our fruit forest. Because we live in the forest. And so my vision was to have a fruit forest.
That would be so nice.
That's what we have. Yeah, that's what we have. So like hopefully in the next few years, if everything just starts like producing.
We just add a little each year.
Yeah. And so we had 1 apple on the gala tree last year. And I hear that was a good apple. I didn't have any, but they split it, and they said it was a good apple.
It was good.
Yeah. So, to feed your plants without spending a lot of money, banana, you soak banana peels in water overnight, and there's a lot of potassium and nutrients in that water. And, my house plants, they just completely flourish.
They sure did.
When I use that. Also, you can buy kelp powder. Put kelp in water, shake it around, and feed your plants. You could take some of the worm dirt, soak it in water, and people call that like worm tea. That's what they call it.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and water your plants with that. We have a comfrey plant that I'm hoping comes back. If not, I think I'm going to have to dig it up and plant it somewhere else, because it should be doing a lot better than what it's doing over there. I mean, usually by now it should have spread all over the yard, honestly, because people say that it spreads like crazy. So I think we'll dig it up and move it. It must just not like the area. But when you get comfrey leaves, they are so nutrient dense that you can soak those in water and make a tea, and that is like a wonderful food for your plants.
But you know, I love my teas.
Yeah. Also, people use it to feed like their birds and stuff because it's highly nutritious.
Okay. Okay.
Just like, not every day, but just like as a treat, because it's like a vitamin supplement for them.
Okay. Sounds good.
It might help with egg production. I don't know because it's so nutritious. But do you want to tell anything else? Any your favorite tips or anything like that?
I am thinking. Really can't think of nothing right off the top of my head other than the mulch.
Which is a really good tip.
Really good tip.
Because you don't have to spend a lot of money gardening, especially if you live in the forest.
Now, what you can do now, let's say if you want, because you talked about container garden, if you want to do like a box garden, find some pallets.
Yeah.
And
untreated.
Untreated.
Yeah.
And you can actually take those and make those into box gardens.
Yeah.
There's videos online on how to do it.
I have actually seen online where people have just used cardboard boxes and planted in those. Because because me and Billy had just told you it takes about a year or two for cardboard to break down. So one growing season, your cardboard box should be good, and you don't have to pay anything for that. If you don't get
most stores give them to you.
Yeah, just get a box and put some dirt in it and put some seeds in it, and there you go. There's your container garden. Yeah, I mean, there was this one gardening channel I hadn't seen in a long time, but he would always say something like, we're not trying to be pretty, we're trying to be functional.
I know that's right.
I mean, because if you're trying to grow your own food, you do what you can, use what you got, and you really want to get more out of it than what you put into it, unless you're just doing it for fun and you're really rich.
Now, another tip, if you're growing let's say like some type of vine or a tomato plant or something like that, instead of going and buying those cages, you can use sticks around your house.
Yes, you can. You can take this
tie them together.
Yeah, you can tie them together at the top, put them in the dirt, and like have a triangle type thing and tie it together.
And they'll grow on that.
Yeah, we did bean plants on that.
Yep.
And it's pretty. It's pretty.
Oh yeah, it looked really nice. It kind of reminded me of like colonial days and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where we got that idea from.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so many things. Like as far as like a box, we have so many branches. You could actually, take branches.
Yeah,
and make a box.
Yep.
Yeah, you could do that.
Very easily.
Or there's something called a keyhole garden, which I want to do, and I think we might do it this year. We can put it somewhere. What you do is you take a pile of sticks and leaves, and you just pile them up. You like big pile. Then you put dirt on top of that, and you plant the seeds in it. But you have to have a little opening and an opening in the middle. And you put like chicken wire or something there just to keep its place. And then when you have scraps, you put it down in that middle part. And the compost that forms at the bottom, like every time you water it, it feeds the garden with the compost in the middle.
Nice. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
So the sticks and the leaves that you put in there are breaking down into dirt. The compost is breaking down into dirt. So you have a very nutrient-rich hill. And since it's on an incline, it creates a lot of extra space for things,
Nice.
And, it's supposed to work out really good. They do that in Africa, and they have a lot of success with it because the soil's poor there, just like the soil is naturally poor here, right?
Yeah.
So it's a way to build up your soil with almost no cost, just what you have.
Just in this area, it is hard to grow things, but when you get it going, it is so much worth it. And like I've said in the past, it helps your bottom line as far as your budget going to the grocery store.
Yeah, very much. Especially like these fruit trees we have out here and everything. We have chickens and we have a duck, and I'd like to get more ducks just because I like ducks better than chickens. We could do another video about that. But Billy and I don't eat the eggs, but other people in our family do, you know? And if it ever came down to it, like if there was a real problem with the food system or something, we'd always have that option.
Yes, we will.
So, if you have food growing at your house, if you have fruit trees, if you have eggs, then, you have a lot of resources right there. And we, that makes me feel good, to know that. I mean, honestly.
Yes, it does.
Because you want to.
I'm comfortable knowing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because it's something, and it's nutritious because it's close to its original source, and, it's not. And
you know what's going into it.
Yeah, exactly. And, we don't eat eggs, but if I did, we love our birds. We take good care of them.
Take really good care of them.
It's not like that we're getting it out of like the I went to a field when I was a kid to a chicken farm, and it stunk so bad we couldn't even stay in there. I'll never forget that. And so I just, I
Our
don't.
yard don't stink.
But I'm just saying it's because of the conditions, But yeah, we know what our chickens eat. We know what our duck eats. We talk to them. We care about them, But yeah, we just wanted to share all this stuff with you today and we hope you got a lot of nuggets out of it. And it was nice talking about it.
Yeah, I love talking about gardening.
Yeah. And we've been doing it for a long time. We've had a lot of trial and error. And so we know what it works. And thank God we know it works because it makes it a lot simpler. And we're planting earlier this year. So I think we're going to have a lot better outcome than we've ever had before because of that.
And if you had to till your garden, I got a story behind that. So we was living in another location at the time, and the ground had never been broke. So we went and rented a tiller and went out there to break up the ground.
Yeah, he usually would get a small tiller, but this time he had to rent one of those big ones. And I remember I seen him out in the backyard all day long with that tiller. But little did I know what he was experiencing. What was going on, Billy?
Well, like I said, the ground had never been broke.
It was hard.
It was very hard. And what happened was, in this area alone is pretty rocky.
Oh, yeah.
And I really didn't know that at the time. And so that tiller hit a rock, and it hit a big boulder-shaped rock. I mean, it was like, anyway. So when it hit it, it popped up, hit me in the head.
Cracked his tooth.
Cracked more than one tooth.
I think he cracked 2 teeth that day.
Cracked 2 teeth and lost one.
That was terrible.
And I was like, man.
I think that's the last time he used a tiller, which he's willing to use another one.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, wow. I mean, he really suffered for the garden that year. That was like
but we got some good stuff out of it.
That was about 15 years ago. And I remember we bought bags of cow manure that year, which I don't want to do that right now, but I think that's one reason too why it did good. But we had some super tall sunflowers.
Yes.
That were beautiful that year.
Those things are gorgeous.
Yes. And I remember we had some snaps.
And we had morning glories.
Yes, they were beautiful too. Yeah.
I remember going out every morning to see them and smell
them. So we, I guess we'll take this video to an end. We're up to 17 minutes now.
Oh.
But we hope you're having a great day.
Yes.
And we'll be trying to do a live tomorrow. Well, I don't know. We might do one tomorrow, but we'll definitely be doing one on Monday. If you have any suggestions for subjects, let us know
down below.
And like I said in the description, to show your love for us and our content, we have a Patreon where it has 21 days of content too personal to show anywhere else. So I really did go.
There's going to be more added to it.
Yeah, I really did go more in depth in those videos than I go on YouTube because it's more of a private area. So it's only
you can pretty much speak freely.
Yeah. So I don't remember how much Patreon it starts at, but it's either $2 to $5. It's not a lot. So we appreciate your support. It might not be a lot to you, but it means a lot to us.
Yes.
So God bless you.
God bless.
And you have a great day. Bye.